Yo, welcome back to the latest episode of No Level Cap. This week, we're checking out the latest trailers straight from last week's Gamescom. Hello, welcome back to the No Level Cap podcast, where we talk about all the anime, all the games, all the nerd culture, none of the bullshit. I am your host, Sage Ashford, and we're not going to waste no time. Like I said, we talk about Gamescom. Let's just get into some of these trailers. We're going to start with something really light. Well, something that's kind of we've seen a lot of, but I'm kind of curious to see what else they got going on.
Yeah, man, have they ever been like promoting this game?
Man. You're not wanting for footage of this game. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I know exactly what I want. You talking about a game I want to see? You know, you talked about earlier, Sage. We had a conversation about how you didn't want to see any more Dragon Age. I don't need to see nothing else. They talked. They explained everything in excruciating detail.
Yeah, they had
if you, I don't know at this point, just don't buy the game.
Just don't buy the game. You're not gonna like it. Like, oh, maybe I might. Like, bro, they done shown like 60 minutes of footage.
Gab.
Gab.
That's hilarious.
I always love how this studio always has their distinct style of their own and their own kind of vibe.
Yeah,
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What the? Did we just go through an asshole?
That was inside of a worm's body, but that could possibly also be an asshole.
Was like, can you smell it?
Okay, it might have been an asshole.
Okay, that was a cool environment.
It was cool. Considering 90% of their environments is like a city in most of their games, this is a great departure. You don't think about that in other games, so but when you have a certain studio and they do one thing for a long time, it's kind of like when Elden Ring introduced jumping, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, Dark Souls has jumping now."
You know,
I did not realize they didn't have jumping.
It's a very boots on the ground experience.
I was just gonna say, if anything, this game feels like, and I think I've mentioned this before, it feels like a return to what Shin Megami Tensei was before like Persona really took off. Kind of like the side games that are like on the PS2. That's really what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Man, this franchise is really is gone in so many different directions. It's really cool though.
I mean, like, and one thing I will say before we move on to the next one, because I mean, of course, we got a lot of trailers to hit. Keem brought up the idea of changing genres and how much work that is, and that makes me realize, like, oh, there's probably a reason why they took like a decade to get done with that game.
Yeah.
And not like just getting it off the ground after like 5 years. Although that's never been them anyway. They've always gotten their games off and like taken a lot of time. Like Persona 5 has been out for how long now?
That came
Since
out
what, 2017?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it came out the year before that in Japan.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
that was originally like a 2013, 2014 game.
Oh my God.
Man,
you remember the
Winter
pictures?
2013.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the pictures with the shackles?
Yeah, the chain and ball. I remember that.
Oh my God.
Sure. If anything, I'll say like that game, this game, well, not this one, but Metaphor, I feel like it's coming out at the perfect time. And I don't mean like release window time, but I mean in terms of like the Atlas as a studio, like they're as big as they've ever been. Like they're known for their critically acclaimed RPGs. I mean, ever since Persona 5, like Atlas has been on almost everybody's radar. So like now is the time to release this weird game that is like Persona, but very much different, you know, because I feel like had they released it before, people wouldn't have been as turned on to it. But after the success of Persona 5, it's like, yeah, a lot more people are willing to take a chance on it. So we'll see how it turns out.
This next trailer comes from Rakeem. He showed me this. We saw it at the top of the year, like the reveal of this game. It's from Yellow Brick Games. That's the studio that was founded by Mike Laidlaw. He used to work at BioWare on the Dragon Age projects, and I guess he just went his own way and formed a new studio. I think they wanted to call this a triple I type game, like a independent game, but with like AAA-ish level production value.
What the heck is a triple I? What do the other I stand for?
Triple indie, I guess.
Triple indie, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I liked what I saw in this, and so I kind of wanted to show everybody else.
Interactive, intuitive indie.
There you go. I will say this trailer is the one that sold me on the game. When I saw the first trailer, I was like, okay, this is cool.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But then I saw this, and I was like, whoa.
This is much better.
Fantasy action adventure game where the world around you is your weapon.
And of course, like the main comparison I saw people make was Amalur. A lot of it for the color. It's not the same, but like the color and the feel of the world, very similar. The action combat, it seems very free, more like a lot of different options and stuff like that. It's the only other game like that in the RPG genre was like Amalur.
In your expeditions with their various skills.
You've worked hard for this.
I think this was the part that sold me. Like I knew the combat looked like it was gonna be okay, but then like the gameplay loop of going out into the world, collecting materials, coming back, improving yourself, just so you can be better prepared to fight bosses. I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, the art in this game is very good. Like
this is good.
It almost looks like a Riot game. The way, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the style of it, it just looks like something Riot would have made.
A lot of people made comparisons to Immortals Phoenix Rising, has a very stark, kind of almost cartoony art style. But this is even more refined. Yeah, this feels like that, but more refined and even more clean. This looks good.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the games to look out for next year.
I'm loving the elemental interactions too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like a lot of fantasy games don't do enough with that.
I could see that. It's very. I remember like Divinity was like the big game that did like elemental interactions as like a big selling point back in the day. But this is like got Shadow of Shadow of Colossus elements going on. This is really cool.
Yeah.
I remember I showed Devin this. He was like, "Hold on now." You know, he loves Shadow of Colossus. Yeah, this sold me. All this environmental interaction, this is unique.
Yeah.
I just needed to see some signs of a world. And so like when I saw the other characters, I was like, okay, so there's more than just me alone in the world going and fighting random shit with no story and no characters. Once I saw that, I knew everything else was probably gonna come together well because I already did like the art style. So I thought this was a great trailer. And I agree with Terrence that this is gonna be one of the ones to watch out for.
I'm definitely, it's on my radar now.
It's coming out at the top of the year too, like early 2025. So I'm like, oh yeah, we got something going here.
I need something to make up for the loss of Immortals as an IP. So this looks like it'll be a worthy success.
I am bummed that didn't turn into a sequel. I never played the original, but I was curious. Like I kind of want to see where that's going. Like I wanted to see where that would go next, and like especially since it was from the people that did Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I love that game so much. So I thought it was a waste that they just didn't do more with it.
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
There was a lot of trailers at Gamescom that I know I haven't seen. Oh wait, I think I have. Yeah, I did see this.
Yeah,
okay, never mind. I did see this.
This was at opening night live.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I guess I just didn't remember. Oh, the Mega
Man vibes.
Spark the Uprising. Okay, nice free flow combat, isometric, kind of like a. I'll say kind of like it. This is kind of his own thing. I haven't really seen a lot of games like this. Bro, we are in the era of homestead survivor elements, man. If you ain't got that shit in your game, yeah, go ahead.
It's automatic. It's automated, so it's not like you're building something. It seems like it builds itself. You just have to like come back with like the proper materials.
Okay.
Because I ain't creative, but I don't mind like building up stuff like Suikoden.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, like man, that's huge now.
Together. It's been huge. It's just now, because like you think about like Rust or like some of those other older games back in the day, like in the 2010s that were like all about like sandbox building shit.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, now we can do something to take advantage of it.
That didn't look bad.
You're going to early access quick. It did look solid. Like that was one of the ones I was kind of like going through because they showed off a lot of games, not very many new games. This is probably one of the only newer games that they showed where I was like, okay, yeah. That looked good. So I don't know, like my big problem, and I talked about this on Twitter earlier today, is that there's just so many fucking video games now.
Man,
you just don't have the time to devote.
Man.
Like and if it's a 7, God forbid if it's a 7 that you were interested in, it's just like, oh, I'll get to it later. But later never comes because there's always some new games coming down the pipeline.
I agree.
Yeah, if anything, like Gamescom, like this year, it feels like there was more this year than almost any other year that I can remember. But I think it also shows that people who expect a bunch of games at one event have to keep in mind you have all these other events that are happening, that things kind of have to be spread out. So you can't just have all the S tier announcements at one event and then this other event comes around and like all the announcements are like what, C tier? Then everybody's going to say that event was trash. So you kind of have to spread it out a bit.
I mean, but that would involve, for people to understand that would involve setting realistic expectations. Don't nobody want to do that. But you're right, because like by this time next month, I can almost guarantee we'll have seen a new Nintendo Direct and a new PlayStation Showcase or PlayStation State of Play, whatever you want to call it. We'll have seen both of those by this time next month.
Yeah,
because they always happen in September. Like they haven't, like Sony hasn't missed one since the start of this gen, and Nintendo hasn't missed one in longer than that. And so like we'll see more from them. And so like those companies, they were like, okay, well, we're not going to show up to Gamescom because we got stuff we want to show next month. So it's something that people need to keep in mind.
And you have Tokyo Game Show, so it's like, yeah, you got a lot going on.
This was kind of a surprise. Because Dying Light 2, I feel like, just came out, 2 years ago, Keen?
That's about right. But didn't Dying Light 1 also have a lot of DLC? Like a lot? Like some expansions,
this is kind of a standalone
stuff.
expansion.
Yeah. Are they just trying to do something? They're probably just trying to do something different, I guess.
It looked really different at first, but I mean, give it a second.
I never could get all the way into Dying Light. I played a good bit of Dying Light 1. Just couldn't get into it.
Was it just the style, or was it something specific?
I was playing with some friends back then, and there was this element of like at night, if you went to a certain zone at night, you'd have to escape. That was kind of interesting, but it was kind of repeated, and it kind of got old in the first game. And other than that, like,
if you push too much,
the story is a little generic. The gameplay is a selling point for Dying Light, like the parkour shit, the customization with the weapons and stuff. That's the good shit with Dying Light. Story, that's how I feel anyway. I heard I got recommended Dying Light 2 by a couple of different people who played it, and they said they really liked it. But I just
the story is slightly better in Dying Light 2. Certainly written by a higher quality writer, but I don't know how well that holds up.
I got you. I mean,
now what I will say about this is, say what?
Oh, I would say better writing can uplift a lot of things, but go ahead.
Facts. I will say I believe this is supposed to be taking off from like the protagonist of the first game, who I think at the end of the first game, he kind of was like turning into a zombie, but he wasn't quite there yet. It was like some genetic type shit going on. So
interesting. Oh, it looked okay.
One is, this next one is a little more, I think, Devin, and well, actually, everybody that's not here, and then also I think maybe Terrence might have seen this one and might have been into it too.
I haven't seen. There was a bunch
Oh,
of
a
like
platformer?
Was this something that was at like the Future Games showcase?
What's the
I
name?
think this was in the pre-show.
Oh, okay.
Nico Derico.
Oh, this game. Oh yeah, the Crash Donkey Kong Country like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this. Yeah, okay.
That looks cool.
I mean, this looks very polished. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
It does look really polished. And
This
I mean,
indie?
like, there aren't enough 3D platformers. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, this definitely like Crash. Holy shit. You know what? I want one of these indies to do well enough that one day it actually gets a crossover with the IP it's mimicking.
Oh, man, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool as fuck.
I don't know if Nintendo would ever play ball in that regard.
The
but
closest one I've seen that was popular was maybe like ukulele, because there was a couple ukulele
October.
games.
Wow.
Wow, that is so.
I tried to tell y'all about these indie games, man. They'd be like, surprise, it's coming out in 2 months. You like, all right, man, like, you could have gave me more warning than that, but okay.
They've been working on it for like 6 years. Like, hey man, it's coming out. Fuck it.
Hey man, the trailers that I thought would be a Gamescom, they weren't. So I don't know what that means for those games. I guess they'll just reveal the release date whenever, or maybe at Nintendo or PlayStation.
This Sniper Elite
showcases.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And they're desperate to turn the tide of war back in their favor.
I'm very curious to see how Nintendo's Direct looks like this year, because the Switch 2 is anywhere from like 6 months out to like 8 or 9 months out, and I'm like, oh man, this is a problem.
So the next one is probably gonna be like the last big
Gotta be the
direct
last-
for the Switch one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe some hints on when we'll actually get news for Switch 2.
I suspect. Maybe, but like that's usually not their thing.
Sniping, shooting. Another franchise I haven't gotten
sniping.
super. I have played, I think, Sniper Elite 4, but I was just bullshit on the multiplayer. I didn't even play the campaign, so I'm not just cared on it.
Ever since we first reached for the stars.
You know, RV makes a lot of sense.
We've been asking ourselves.
Absolutely. This shit should have been had a vehicle though.
Is out there.
Okay, so you got a vehicle, the one in space.
You know, I wonder if this is the type of game that maybe in a few more years people will look back on it more fondly.
Appreciate it more.
Yeah.
No, but I think it'll be more like Cyberpunk, where like continued additions will make people go like, oh, well, actually, it's not that bad anymore.
I can see that.
Like you added a vehicle, the vehicle is like smooth, it's got weapons to it and shit. Apparently, they have like some DLC planned, which I think we'll see more of it here.
And they still have the expansion, of course.
Right.
This is a hell of a commercial.
Did this game
Music choices.
sell? Well, you know, I just thought about it. Like Game Pass kind of takes
It's
away
still
some of
sold,
those numbers, doesn't
I mean,
it?
oh yeah. But I think they had some kind of silly stats on it. So like, yeah, it's still sold.
I'm pretty sure it's sold pretty well. People waiting on this for a long time.
It's just one of those things where I
That's
just
what I
don't
mean.
hear anything about it. And maybe it's just because, I mean, obviously I'm not tapped into the Starfield community, but just in like, you know, certain games, regardless of whether you play them or not, you hear about them. And this
Can't
is like
get
one
away
of those
from 'em.
games where I feel like I never hear anything about it.
I think in the first 3 or 4 months, you heard about it a lot.
Yeah, definitely
Also,
when
it's
it
a
came out,
single-player
yeah,
game.
for sure.
Also, it's a single player game. So, I mean, once you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
That's
if
it.
Shattered Space is really good, you'll hear a lot more about it again.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of everywhere. You won't be able to get away from it. And
Hopefully so.
supposedly they have more than one expansion planned. Like it won't just be this one. It'll be more. Like they hinted at, 2 or more. And so like I think if all the expansions are good, then they're probably going into a direction where people could be more satisfied with this game. But already the numbers, as far as like how many people have played it, is high as fuck.
Now,
That's kind of.
what about when it comes to PS5?
Well, I'll tell you what. Since you said that,
Man,
this won't be the next thing we play. We'll play something else. Where is it?
Was it Indiana Jones?
Where is? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
let's go.
Because
you're on my list.
Between ancient cultures around the world.
I need you just be good. That's it. That's it, baby.
Is it the key to some
Indiana Jones, baby.
That's up to you to uncover.
I was trying to follow up what you said about the expansions, Sage, with Starfield.
It's humbling.
I remember when Borderlands 1 came out, people were kind of like, Borderlands 1 is okay. Then they had those 3 expansions, and people fucking love those expansions. They talk about the expansions more than the game. I had never seen that before. And it like really cultivated the fan base a little more into Borderlands 2. And of course, Borderlands 2 was a smash hit. So like those expansions do matter. You're correct on that. That can change the people's tunes on the video game.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely.
We all get to feel what it's like to
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go in them caverns. Whip 'em. Uppercut.
The thrill of finding every clue. Indy is such a unique character.
I do want to play this.
Professor, an archaeologist,
Well,
a brawler,
you won't have to wait long.
explorer,
They said
the
March.
all-around adventure. And this
So how
game
do y'all
has
feel about that? And like
everything you'd expect from
initially,
Indiana Jones
at the
adventure.
start of the year, remember they had the rumor that like
Cunning villains,
Xbox was basically going to go multi-platform,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
Xbox tried to like assuage everybody's concerns.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, it's just going to be these 4 games, and then now here
start.
we are closer to the well, they did say to start. They said
Mhm.
that, and then they were like, oh, we're just testing things out. Well, it turns out the tests worked really well. And now
Oh,
here we
really?
are at the tail end of the year, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Indiana Jones, one of the biggest games we got, coming to PS5."
Hey, money
Also,
talks.
Sea of Thieves was like a big success for them on PS5, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I believe so. Yeah. So that's dope. Man, Sea of Thieves started into something special. I'll tell you what.
I wonder what that cut is like. Like when those games get ported to PS5, like what kind of cut does
This looks good.
Microsoft get out of it?
Probably the same cut everybody else gets, I would imagine. Like whatever the third party person gets.
Hmm.
I don't know if they have a
So, I mean,
special
like,
deal. I don't know.
Oh man, they probably just negotiate it the same way you negotiate everything else. I mean, like I think third parties do get most of that, but I mean, like PlayStation would get, of course, a small cut because it is on their platform.
Yeah.
This looked good.
That's
though.
pretty cool.
What was the release date for this?
December 9th.
Yeah,
December 9th. This looked good. I like what I saw.
December 9th for PlayStation. I mean, for Xbox, and then sometime in March for PlayStation 5. So I mean, like they're not wasting time. I knew this wasn't gonna get delayed. Like I know people were concerned, but I was like, if Avowed was ready and they pushed Avowed, then that means that this has to be ready too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You just had too many games that were coming.
Right.
Hey man, like I said,
Of course.
I'm just waiting on Hellblade 2. Go ahead and put that on PS5 as well. We know
Man.
you need to.
They absolutely need to do that.
Do you have a
Absolutely.
PS5, Terrence?
Do I what?
Do you have a PS5?
Yeah, haven't we played games together?
On
Did-
PS4?
did we
I don't know if you
Guil-
played
did we
anything on
play
5.
Guilty Gear?
That was on PS4.
Don't I have that on? I thought I had that on 5, but anyway, yes,
Yeah.
I've had a
Oh, okay.
5 for like at least 3 years now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all didn't waste no time.
It is time.
I remember this actress. She was the one who played
Yennefer.
Yennefer
Yeah.
in The Witcher.
Yeah.
Somebody mad right now. Saw this was like, woke. How dare they?
You know, it's funny. Anytime
Putting
these,
it on the boycott list.
anytime these like third person like action RPG-ish games, or I'll just say action adventure games, come out and they have a female protagonist, like I've just found people just love comparing it to Forspoken, and they love to say like, oh, this is gonna fail like Forspoken 2, and it's like, come on, man.
I saw
Nobody
one
ever said
crazy.
that about Tomb Raider.
I saw something. No one's
Say
ever
what,
going to
Keith?
say that about Tomb Raider. I saw somebody today on a Splitgate forum. I got into the Splitgate alpha test. Somebody was like, "Is this game woke?" And I was like, "The game where you shoot people and that's it?"
Like
what
is woke about?
All the colors, they kind of
man.
I don't know what
a word has lost its meaning and has become so diluted when people don't even know what it even means anymore.
Bro, it was so funny. People were lighting his ass up in that comment section.
Like the colors. The colors? Man, pick up a gun and shoot somebody. Shut up, boy. Like,
fellas, I don't know, bro.
Fellas, is it wrong to like colors?
I don't know. The color, I guess orange. I guess purple and orange is woke. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Hey man, remember they was giving what was it, Eternal Strands? They was giving that game hell for them colors. They was like, what's up with all these colors?
They said they were trying to they tried to do it with Dragon Age too. It's so colorful. It's bright.
I'm sorry that it's not gunmetal gray and dog shit brown.
I'm about to say, like, graphics have improved in 15 years, and art direction has also improved. Things are starting to look a little sharper, a little better.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing that bothers me with Dragon Age the most is, like, Inquisition came out, and this is just an evolution of Inquisition.
It sure is.
People keep bringing up Origins. I'm like, no. Origins 09.
Yeah, Inquisition was the last game, and it's so weird because, like, people who don't notice, like, I'm like, did y'all play the last game? Because, like, a lot of the characters are the same. The storyline is carried over directly from it. And y'all are acting like this is some new IP. Like, no, if you play Inquisition at all, you know who these characters are. You know what's going on. And, like, it's a natural transition to this game. There should be no issue with, now the only issue would be, like, the mechanical change if you don't really like them that much. I can get that. But, like, people ain't really talking about that shit. They talking about weird stuff that don't really mean nothing.
When did Inquisition come out?
2014?
Damn, so it's been
December
10 years?
10 years.
Yes.
Man, maybe that plays a part in it as well. It's just been so long. People been like, man, I forgot who these characters were.
Nah, I mean, yeah, to a point.
Yeah,
to
a point. Yeah, to a point.
Some of these people are being disingenuous because, like, don't act like that game didn't sell. Dragon Age Inquisition, BioWare said that was their best-selling game ever. So, like, tons of people played it. These people that keep bringing up Origins, they wish Origins was to come back, but it's not coming back. If you want that style of game so bad, just go play Baldur's Gate 3, bro. It's okay.
And even Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, more colorful, very open-ended cast. Like, I don't know what the difference. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do.
This one's not for me, but I know a lot of people are hype about it.
Is this Kazan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If anything, I think it's cool that they got Ben Starr to voice the Berserker.
Ben 16 put him. I mean, I know Ben Starr has been around for a while, but, like, man, 16 really put him on the map now. People are, like, looking for him.
Working.
They looking for him now. Is that Ben Starr? I'm starting to see that in the comments every time he show up. Is that Ben Starr on there?
Oh, yeah. You just need that one breakout role.
I mean, he killed it as Clive. He killed it.
I guess it also helps that he really leans into it, like the fan, the community for that game, the memes and everything. Like, he participates in it, so he just seems like a very genuine guy, and I think that helps as well. If he just did the role and he was just like, hey, I'm Clive in 16 and just never talked about it again, I think it'd be perceived a little differently.
A little different, yeah.
When actors, like, really lean into their roles and participate in the communities around those games, I think that really helps. Helps them become, like,
so I hope that all
more noticed.
I hope that all the people complaining about the color in those other games are interested in this game. Because, like, this is a dark fantasy RPG.
Man, what?
I mean, this is pretty much just Berserk right here.
This is like Berserk.
I mean, it's in the name, yeah.
Yeah.
In of all things, the Dungeon Fighter universe.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ever since DNF Duel came out, I mean,
Yeah, they trying to expand their IP a little bit more too. Speaking of that, you talking about, like, leaning into it. Right before we got on the podcast today, I was watching the video where Christopher Judge was doing the voice acting for one of his scenes in God of War 2018. The scene where he's talking to Athena, and, like, he got really emotional because it was, like, talking about being a parent and being a father and, like, failings as a father, and, like, he felt it in his spirit, like, his own issues with his own kids, where he felt like he had failed in certain areas and, like, affected them in his role. That was pretty cool.
That's definitely how acting works. Is like a lot of times you're drawing from like your life experiences and bringing that out in the characters that you play. So yeah, very
Definitely.
True.
Ben Starr, let's go. I ain't gonna lie. If you a voice actor, that makes you feel like it's worth it when niggas in the comments just like, it's Ben Starr, man. God, no.
That's facts.
That's dope, man.
I remember there was a time where, you know, when Troy Baker was revealed to be in the game, it's like, okay, this is probably going to be of quality. You know, like Nolan North, like, there's kind of like the ebb and, like the industry goes through certain phases where there's like people who are just like at the top of the game, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. So
man,
this dude,
I did like that trailer
before we reveal this, and I was like, I don't blame you, bro.
This shit
like,
right here
for me was the biggest
one
announcement.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
I was like Warhammer. I was like, okay, like a Warhammer video. And it was like, oh no, we got more than that.
Warhammer. I was like, I don't care about Warhammer like that. Then they was
Sifu.
I said, what?
I was like, oh man, are we doing something now? From Love, Death, and Robots, which I still haven't seen.
Oh really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'd say watch the first season. Second season is not as good. It's still worth watching, but yeah, watch the first season. First season is
so cool.
Has some great stories.
They got Armored Core. Oh my god, this is about. Oh
that
my
was
god,
so
I can't wait, bro. This is so fucking cool, man.
It's a new adventure.
No, what got me?
Mega Man showed up. I was like, all right, bro.
That's what got me. I said, oh snap, the Blue Bomber.
And then you have Kratos in there. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. Supposedly, like PlayStation is getting its own episode. That's a bunch of different things at one time.
I can see that. That makes sense. Either way, this is fire.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Amazon is slowly becoming like the ones to kind of like look out for when it comes to video game adaptations. Like, if Yakuza is good, like,
man, I hope Yakuza is good.
I hope so too. Especially with everything that's kind of come out about it recently. With
they were doing their own thing.
Well, was it
Yeah,
that the
all of
director
it.
didn't want the actors to play the games? He kind of wanted them to, which we'll see how that goes. I think I can understand where he's coming from, because like he didn't want them to play the games to like form their interpretation based on that, but more so have their own interpretation, I guess, without that influence of the games. But still, you know, I don't know.
I don't really need the actors to play the games. I need the director to play the games and to respect
The director
them.
does.
So
Now that I don't know. I don't know if
We'll
the
see how that
director
turns out.
himself played them. I'm not sure of that.
It's gonna be interesting. I'll
Yeah.
say that much. I just want.
I mean, like, there's some choice quotes there where I'm like, I don't know about this, but we'll see. Real quick. Well, actually, let's go ahead and get into another really popular one.
This was definitely one of my favorite trailers. I'm
This
not gonna lie to
is
you.
a really
Coming out
good
next
trailer.
year.
This is a really good trailer.
Among the stars,
NetEase games.
Wakanda found a new home. And
Man, they really are going for the deep cuts, because it's like the intergalactic nation of Wakanda is like very obscure. It's recent, but it's obscure, so I just didn't expect it.
And the art in this trailer goes hard.
Man.
Marvel Rivals. They better get them servers ready. This
Can
gonna
you
be
imagine
opposite Concord.
Can you imagine if
This
we
gonna
ever
be
got
ridiculous.
a Marvel versus Capcom game that looked like this? Man.
Well, you just ask Max, he'll make it happen.
Well, I don't know if he can make it look quite like this, but I mean, hey,
I don't want a
he's
Marvel vs. Capcom game like this, but I do want a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game like this.
Pull him up. Dangerous. Oh yeah, I want to play Winter Soldier right now.
Like, clear the whole team in this?
Man,
This is either him or Cap.
Cap taking the lead,
Like, what the
jumping
fuck?
out in front, got the shield up, throwing the shield in. That's what I'm talking about, Cap.
I know people talked about the fact he has his wings back, like the wings on
Talking
his
about on his
helmet.
helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah. They found a way to, like, anime-ify all these designs, but they still look
Damn, why
very
you got
Marvel.
Doom looking like a badass?
Was that like
the
Doom
main-
and Hydra combined?
Doom's the main villain of this.
Oh, okay.
How do y'all feel about this? Like, all the heroes unlocked at launch. and then
Great
forever,
idea.
basically.
Great
I
idea.
mean, I think that's gonna get people to play it even more.
Man, when I tell
And this
you,
comes
I
out
cannot
in
wait to
December,
play
like
this.
around Christmas. Like I think this game is gonna be successful.
This is
They'd
gonna
have
be
to
straight.
screw up in some unimaginable way for this to fail.
I don't see it. At least right now, I think they
The
got
game
it.
would have to not work. That's how they got screwed.
Yes, that's the only thing they could do at this point. Because this game looks like it's gonna be it, and I mean, like,
Man.
good for them. Because, like, I mean, it's nice to have a Marvel game actually work. I'm a little upset that the first Marvel game that works is gonna be like some multiplayer stuff instead of a single player game, aside from Spider-Man. But I mean,
Well,
you know,
Spider-Man,
it is
yeah.
what it is. Keem, you brought up Concord. Speaking of,
I was just thinking about Concord.
Ooh-wee.
oh my
man.
gosh,
They going through it, boy. You talked about that PlayStation State of Play. The beginning of this PlayStation State of Play got to start off. How do I say goodbye
they gotta stick
to
with it for at least a little while.
Concord? Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm a little upset because, like, this game came out. It's like gonna be $40,
Yep.
and like apparently no real microtransactions to speak of. You just unlock the skins as you play, and I'm like, there was a time where, if nothing else, people would have applauded, like, hey man, at least they did that. Now you're not even hearing that. There's so many people that are just like, this should have been free to play, and no mention, no complaint about what would come with it being free to play. Everybody's just like, you should have made it free to play, and I'm like, dang, that's a different era.
Yeah.
I feel like this
Times
game,
have changed.
I feel like it could have just. This game could have benefited from, I think, some more build up to it. It just kind of. They announced
Came out of
it with a
nowhere.
little teaser, and then a year or two later, they reveal the actual game, and then just go right into, like, hey, the beta or whatever it was is going to be available. I don't know. I don't know. This might just be one of those games where it's just an anomaly. Like, they did everything right, but it just didn't work for whatever reason. You know, sometimes
I will
that
say
happens,
this.
I guess.
I will say this. Like, when you have a hero-based, like, shooter or hero-based game at all, you kind of can feel if people are connecting with the characters, because, like,
Yeah,
if
that's
it was
another part
like
of
people
it
were
as
connected
well.
where you start seeing fan art everywhere, people start cosplaying people, and that kind of lends into the hype around it. I feel like when Overwatch came out, everybody was like super into all the designs. Like, art started coming out super fast. People were cosplaying the characters. Of course, Blizzard's Machine was behind that as well.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of it.
There was
But, I think that's a part of it too.
There was like a Twitter thread about that I think we were talking about in the Discord at one time where, they were talking about how, like, the designs don't really inspire you to, like, really want to play the game. Because, we were talking about how really, like, the Asian woman, she's, like, one of the few characters that, like, really stands out in terms of just design.
That looked cool.
Yeah, that look
Yeah.
cool,
Yep.
while the others are kind of just whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game was a mess from the start, because, like, I've never seen a trailer like this. Like, the first 3 minutes of this 5-minute trailer, you would have thought this is a single player game.
That is a
Yeah.
You
big
would have
one.
thought this was some type of space game where you going around and maybe it's like Uncharted, or like it's like a like
Ooh.
Sony's version of Square's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, like a
Mhm.
better version of that. And instead, it's just like, after like 3 minutes of like character development and like conversations between the crew and all that shit, they was like, oh yeah, it's time to get into this multiplayer. And you like, well, what the hell is this game?
Yeah.
And then,
'cause, like, that's a good point too.
I do think that this game could have benefited from some kind of single player.
It feels like
And then the other end of this, go ahead.
go ahead,
Go
say.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll finish my point after you get done with yours.
The other end of it is like what Terrence said. Like, there's so many of these characters look like a sidekick. They don't look like main characters that you'd want to play. And without some type of story to develop them, nobody's gonna see them that way. Other than, like you said, this Asian character, she looks cool. She could be the lead, and then that's
She
it.
does look cool.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I mean by, like, it. I feel like they could have done more build up. Like, I think character trailers maybe could have helped. I don't know, but go ahead, Rakeem. Sorry to interrupt.
I was about to say, like, it's also funny to me how Sony is, instinctively trying to push to this multiplayer direction, and yet somehow they still, in the storytelling compartment, still focus on like that cinematic story part as the strongest part of this game, and now we're disconnected from that. So that's where the disconnect kind of happens.
That's the other thing. This multiplayer thing like might be dead in the water. Like it might be dead before it starts. Like Helldivers 2 was a massive success, but I don't think they on any level expected that to be the success that it was. And then they wanted this to be a success, and like it is probably the biggest flop of the year, unfortunately. Like it's looking bad. Like even Suicide Squad didn't look this bad, unfortunately. I'd rather this have done better and Suicide Squad have been the failure that this is. But
I know how much you hate Suicide Squad. It's all good. So I mean, like, they both fails at the end of the day. So
I mean, like, what's that? That clip from what is it? Star Wars Next Generation, where it's like sometimes you can do everything right and still fail, and maybe that's the case with this game.
Ooh. Okay, I guess now now that I'm looking at it, it's like, okay, now it looks like a multiplayer game based off of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But how many minutes in is that? About 2.5 minutes in. It's been multiplayer for about 30 seconds.
And even with that, it kind of looks like it still feels like you on like a mission-based game.
Yeah,
like a co-op. Even a co-op multiplayer mission-based game would have made more sense.
Yes, absolutely.
With story elements.
Anything that develops the world more. And then like for them, that's the other thing. In the actual game, like when you start up the game, they have these fucking vignettes telling you about the world and the characters and shit. And they're like, I think either weekly or monthly. And so like you get them pretty regularly, but it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, why do I care about any of that? I'm never going to have time to like really delve into the world. I'm just trying to avoid being shot at while shooting someone else.
Yeah.
And I mean, like even the OG reveal, like when the very first reveal was off, when they were like, oh, check out Concord, and they didn't say anything. It was just like shots of things in the ship. And I'm like,
Space!
This is a multiplayer game? Yeah, I was like, what? And they were like, oh, it's a multiplayer game. I'm like, ugh, you sure? Like, why would you reveal it like this?
Yeah.
Like, this trailer looks like a trailer you'd get for a single player game, because it wanted you to pick apart all these details of like this ship that I assume in a single player game you'd spend a lot of time on, and it's like, oh, look how cool it is, and look at the plants, and look at all the different shit in here that indicates how these characters are living their lives, and it's like, all right, cool. And then you find out like that's something that you would want to see going into a very story-driven game. You know, like, what's the story of this fucking cheeseburger? What the fuck ever, right? And then like instead they was like, no. All you gonna do is shoot some niggas. It's like, okay, if you want. So I don't know, like this went badly, and I do agree with Terrence to a point that like maybe if you had hyped it up more, like maybe instead of being like, because they gave the gameplay reveal I think in like May, and it's out now, and it's like that's just 3 months. Like you needed more time to hype this shit up. You needed like multiple betas to give people a chance, and then you could make some corrections to like certain things. And I heard like some of the skins for some of these characters are better. You could have maybe changed the skins to make those the default versions of these characters. I don't know. Like more time needed to be put into this, which is crazy because supposedly this game was in development for like 8 years. So I don't know.
Man, that sucks. I feel bad for the developers because it's like that's just 8 years. Just hopefully it can be turned around in some way. I really do.
I hope so.
Maybe there's a way they can go around it. Maybe it'll be a outside of gaming. Maybe the strength will be like a actual like that next level animation properties. I'm only half joking about that.
Oh, I remember this game.
Man, I
don't know how I feel about this.
So slow, and that's not real gameplay.
Yep, it's like interspersed. Like you'll see like 2 seconds of real gameplay, and everything's like cutscenes.
This is gameplay.
That's gameplay. Yeah.
Also, fuck that random Deus Ex reference too.
I didn't ask for this.
Here it is.
I never asked for this.
Oh, she even had the pose? Oh, come on, man. It's too soon, man. I miss my boy Adam Jensen, man. God, no.
Who's
I don't
this
know if
developed
game's
by?
gonna be good or not. I would like it. Oh, some indie indie dev, excuse me.
Oh,
That looks like gameplay.
Yeah, it's like gameplay. And with cutscene. It's so weird.
I will at least say this: like, at least the protagonist looks interesting.
This reminds me of like the era we had like a lot of third person like gun fu action games on like
Wet.
PS2, PS3. Wet, yeah. Wet is a great example. Great example.
Wet, product number 3 from Capcom.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
What the hell is that?
remember that era.
What Jet Li had a game like that. What was that called?
Ooh.
Dang, what's the name of that game? Because they had the 8-way combat. That was like a really unique combat system.
I know what you're talking about. It's on the tip of my head, but I can't think of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that game was kind of cool.
Product not yet ready.
Hey, it's fall in.
Yeah. Oh, this is the other Rebellion game aside from Sniper Elite. I was like, what is it? And it's this.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the same developer. I didn't even put two and two together.
May not be the same developer, but it's definitely the same publisher.
With the popularity of that Fallout TV show, I guarantee you the next couple. We already have a couple of Fallout likes, so next couple of years, you're probably gonna see a couple more.
I mean, hey, if Bethesda's not going to do it right, somebody else do it. Well, you do have the Outer Worlds. I mean, that's, I guess,
Yeah,
close enough.
Outer Worlds is definitely one.
Fallout 76 has kind of rehabbed its reputation.
Yeah,
A little bit,
So
yeah.
you do see a lot of people getting into that.
Not
more.
gonna lie, I played it and I enjoyed it. I was surprised how much I enjoyed playing it.
We're definitely in the era of games being able to redeem themselves as long as they have like the financial ability to continue
You
to
have
do
to,
so.
yeah, that's the big one. You got to have the financial ability to do so and a studio that allow you to do that because companies do not like taking losses.
Right, for real.
That's really the big thing. Like,
Yeah.
are the companies going to spend the time necessary to rehab the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
think
looks better
someone
than
used
the
to.
initial reveal.
I think so too. Kind of shows more of its own
Like-
character.
Oh, March 2025. Okay.
On the first reveal, I looked at it and was like, this is just Fallout, Outfall or whatever the fuck. And then finally they showed this and I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all, like you said, it's more of its own character and I dig that. So I don't know how well this is gonna turn out. I do know it's for, am I wrong? Is this for fucking PS4?
Am I wrong?
What?
I ain't gonna finish that song.
How in the world would you get that to run on PS4?
And yet,
Prayers. It sure says PS4.
You said prayers.
Prayers. Hey man, there's a lot of games that were on previous consoles that shouldn't have been on them. That's a thing.
I feel like
That's
the
definitely
only
a thing.
developer now that is like pretty good at that is Capcom, just because like the RE engine is so flexible between the two generations. But
Right.
come on, man. At this point, well,
wrap it up.
yeah. I mean, I get it. I know the PS4 still has like the higher install base and yada yada, but come on, man.
Much
It's
higher.
like,
Yeah.
we're too far in at this point. Just put them strictly
Man,
on PS5.
but I will say this: the PS4 is one of the best gaming investments you could ever have because you had games for a decade.
It's 2023. It's 2024.
They still make games PS4.
Hey man, it's kind of like the Dreamcast, where in Japan they never gave up on it. They just kept making games for it.
Kind of like the PS2. PS2 had a long life too.
Yeah.
But fate has no finale.
I saw a video today. It was a funny as hell title. It was
25 years later.
the Terry Bogardification of
from
gaming,
Wolfenmonger?
because he's just like,
Yeah.
he went from like, y'all remember when he showed up in Smash, and it was like, who is this? People say, who is this guy? And now he's been in like 4 fighting games in 6 years. He is everywhere,
Hey man, SNK's been putting in work.
man.
Been reviving the
'Cause he
hell
was
out of
in
their
a-
reputation.
Fighting EX Layer, Street Fighter now,
Oh yeah, I
his
forgot
own
about that.
game, this one, and he's in
This
King of
game,
Fighters.
Yeah.
He's like the most represented
Wait, what's his
fighting
own
game
game?
character, period, right now. Outside of Ryu, he and everything. Ryu and Chun-Li and
Hey,
everything.
the only game he needs to be in now, Fortnite.
Man.
Fortnite, are you okay? I am actually very excited for this game.
This game looks great. Like, and with the package that they're selling, the fact that, to my understanding, what the season pass is free.
Really?
That's
what?
insane.
To my understanding, like, maybe we have to look up some information about it, but I think that's correct. But they're offering, I'll put it this way, they're offering a lot for this game. Like, we're no longer in that era of fighting games.
This is a great idea.
$60. It's like, this is worth the money.
The clothing and color editor, they've never done that before. That's a dope idea.
I don't know what happened. I don't know who spoke to a lot of these fighting game developers, but they started putting tons of like work into like the side modes and like the extra stuff that like
Mortal Kombat made them step their game up. That's what it was.
I can tell you who they talked to. They had that summit. Remember the Great Fighting Game Summit a couple years ago with Japan?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They had a lot of conversations about shit like this. Yeah. They talk.
Yeah, it's like you get the base game and season pass 1 for $60. Like, that's so I guess it's not free, but it's like that's still one heck of a deal.
It come with it. That's close enough. So
yeah.
Man, maybe you're right. Like, cause I like to see all this stuff that people like place a high premium on, that if they're like super fans. So like music and customization and all that shit. And then like every game started adding a story mode back.
Yeah.
Almost as if they finally understood, like, hey, maybe we should have that. Absolutely. And then every game's starting to get like a simplistic combat scheme just to help the people that are like bad with like that kind of stuff, which is also smart because you want to welcome as many people as possible so that more people are playing your fucking game. So
Street Fighter 6, a lot of people play on modern controls. That's very common now.
Yeah. And then we have 2XKO coming out that's gonna like explode it even more. So
yeah.
And that game, it seems like it's difficult despite the modern controls. So it's like the controls aren't the problem.
Yes, his controls are super easy. Yeah. Grand Blue as well has a very simplified control scheme.
Yeah.
And the skill button and the combos are very simplified, even though it's kind of complex with this stuff too if you get into it. But that as well.
It's funny you brought it up, Terrence. Actually,
I love Maya's new costume.
Team that seems behind that, man. I saw some people complaining that her costume isn't as horny as it used to be.
She has her old costume too. It's literally in the same.
It's funny because
and she's in a skin tight biker outfit,
which is supposed to be like a callback to one of the other games, right?
Yes. In fact, a lot of people in the comment, like I saw some old school people like, no, old school niggas was like, we like this costume. This is what we like. This is even more sexy to us. I don't know, man.
I mean, it's skin tight.
We're in a world right now.
People want. They just want to complain.
It's funny because people were talking about how SNK put the original costume in the same trailer just to hush the people that were gonna have those questions immediately. It's like, oh, where's her original costume? It's like the people that complained about Cammy. It's like, you know damn well that Capcom is going to add that costume as DLC. Let's be serious.
Man, there's a dude in that comment section. I'm going to support this game for the color editor alone. I want that in every fight game.
Man, you would think that would have been more of a thing. Because I remember when Street Fighter Cross Tekken had that and like people enjoyed it then. And it just feels like no fighting game since then really invested in it. I don't know why, but, you know, I'm glad that it's a thing in this one.
Yeah. I mean, a part of that is a lot of fighting games sell costumes.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
That's one of them.
And also, they don't want you like altering iconic looks in a sense. Like they want to be able to dictate what colors you have certain costumes in.
That's something they got to let go.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Tekken. Tekken let you make your character as goofy as you want them to look. They don't care.
Max finds that her chaotic power
we got a ball fade on Jin for no reason. Let's go. Oh, this is new Life is Strange, or this is the remake?
New one.
Okay. So what's the power this time? Oh, here we go.
Pulse out from her fingertips at any time. While Pulse is active, she can peer through to the other world.
This has become a really big series for them.
I will say graphically, this looks really good.
Attached to it. Oh yeah.
Like the art is quite nice.
Watchful eyes when shifting.
Good thing I can keep an eye on Alderman from here. Wouldn't want to show up right in front of him.
It's almost like Life is Strange kind of picked up the mantle that Telltale kind of like left. I mean, I know Telltale still exists, but it's like they're not. Then it's not the same
like
anymore.
A higher budget Telltale.
Yeah.
I can see that.
To help her investigation in a multitude of ways.
You need me to hold something, or
Actually, yeah. I need an Allen wrench.
got one around here?
No, I borrowed one from Carla, but I think she took it back. If you can go grab that from her.
I always forget that this is Square.
What are the publisher?
Man.
But yeah.
This is one of the only ones they kept.
And sure, I told you this become one. This is definitely a series that's been working for them.
And this is always multi-platform, right?
Yes.
You know, you would think they would look at this and be like, you know what, we should do this with our other games, but you know.
No. I think they are. I think you're correct because.
Well, now they are, but I mean before.
Yeah, now they. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're like.
This game, they keep making it, but I don't know that the sales are like insanely good. They're just okay.
Hey man, consistency sometimes is better than a big hit.
Have you talked to Reggie?
Need something to be consistent.
Reggie?
True.
Crap.
You know, these graphics getting a little too good. It's a good looking woman right there.
Yeah, there's just something about the art that's just really nice. Like this, this game, I can't put my finger on it. It's like the way that it looks is very nice.
I like True Colors art style a lot too, and it just this feels like an evolved version of that, which I dig.
Has an increasingly divergent duplicates in the other timeline. Depending on which timeline you're in.
Hey, I do that sometimes.
And her probing questions very differently. A grief-sodden conversation in one timeline may unlock an unexpected heart-to-heart in the other.
Grief is hard. The trick is not to let it change your character.
Everyone at Caledon is hiding something, and Max is the only one with a viewpoint unique enough to unravel those secrets. And the determination to reach the truth.
My biggest concern before now was like True Colors had opened up and gave you like this small town to explore.
Right.
And I was like hoping that this would like, because it's only set at a campus. And I was like, man, hopefully they didn't shrink the scale too much. But I mean, it looks like this is going to be a sizable college campus, so you can explore a lot. And there's a lot of characters to get to know and shit like that. So
much danger. The fates of her friends and of two timelines are at Max's fingertips.
But that is a really cool power to have, the ability to just jump between multiple timelines.
That's cool. And man,
that.
How fitting of the age we're in right now. Holy crap.
Oh, the
timelines,
shit, yeah.
Multiverse shit is just out of control. It's everywhere.
I am pretty amused that they this is how well timed that is. But I mean, I don't know. I hope this is a good game. I don't know. Like, I think True Colors got like a 80 something on Metacritic. Don't make me lie to you. Hold on. I can actually look this up. True Colors. Also, that Concord review is not nice.
Ooh. What a Concord review? Are you talking about before you buy?
No, the actual Metacritic for
the Metacritic score. Oh, okay. It's just in the top right hand corner you have before you buy on Concord. This is what I thought you were talking about. Okay.
An 81's not bad. But the Concord thing. Here you go.
Boy,
this is that worse than The Crow.
Man, The Crow is suffering right now.
Holy shit.
Man.
I thought The Crow people was excited for it.
I mean, it don't matter if it's trash.
That's a good point.
Man, that sucks. Crow is like a series, like a one of those niche, really popular titles from the 90s that people really liked. But of course, they made more movies.
Now, Alien fared pretty well. Like, people said that this Alien's probably the best one since 2, so yeah.
Huh.
Now, Dustborn is one where I'm like, wow, that didn't do as hot.
I'm not surprised. Like, once I started seeing more footage from it, every time I saw it, it looked worse. Like it never looked better than the first time I saw it, which is not a good sign. And for it to be,
what was the general gameplay loop for it?
You were exploring like America, but it was like an America that had been divided up and taken over by like some fascists. And so you were like just delivering something. And so you were traveling across the country. You'd converse with your friends. You'd like deliver packages. Occasionally, like you'd get stopped by some of the police army and you get into fights with them. So there was like a fighting element to it. And so like on its face, it was like pretty cool. Like you were balancing relationships, getting in fights, doing deliveries. Like that could have been a cool gameplay loop, but it just, the game, like the battles always looked bad. And so like after the first time the battles looked okay. And then every time after that, I was like, something not right about this. Like the battles look slow, sluggish for no reason. And I don't know, I'm pretty sad because I was excited for it at first, but I mean, I guess that comes with it. Like not every game's going to be a hit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Haven't seen this one. I don't
barely remember this one.
The only Sky game I think about is that RPG one.
Skies of Arcadia.
Well, no, that's a new one.
No, there's a new one that's like Skies of Arcadia.
Like the Skies of Arcadia. Yeah.
Oh, this is dope.
Ooh.
Swinging.
Oh man, we got Zelda and Spider-Man abilities.
Okay. Survive.
Wait, is this a multiplayer game?
Looks like it.
Yeah, I believe so.
This is like a survivor game?
A little combat.
Okay.
There's
big emphasis on exploration and
can you build your own ship?
That'd be cool.
I guess you can.
That looks like what they're going for here.
Oh man, we building gummy ships?
Oh, I used to love building gummy ships back in the day, man. That was fun.
And Kingdom Hearts 2, that was definitely something I got lost in.
People love Kingdom Hearts 2. I will say that.
That looked cool, but I don't know what genre it is. It's like they showed a lot.
Open world co-op survival.
Okay, I figured it was a survival game.
An open world co-op survival.
Lost Skies
Those are pretty popular now.
Survival adventure for 1 to 6 players set among the clouds in a vast sky of floating islands. Find and craft ancient technology, build your own skyship, brave ferocious storms, and battle giant threats that wait beyond the horizon.
Okay. I'm not the biggest survival guy, but it didn't look too bad. Still look pretty early though.
It does look like it doesn't have a release date yet.
Yeah.
Explore ancient world of danger and beauty. Experience unparalleled freedom. Shape your skyship. So you do get to build a skyship. Not only is your skyship your home in the clouds, it is also your warship to take into battle and survive treacherous weather. This seems like it's a long way off. It's like the first time they showed Dustborn. And
feels like the type of game that needs a beta or
3
something.
years. That's what he said. You can't lose sky. You just look up.
What? Because it's lost.
Nonsense.
It's called Lost Skies.
Oh, I saw this image. I hadn't watched the trailer.
All by surprise. Mistralia was about to vanish into oblivion.
Okay.
But when the goddess called, I answered.
Oh, it's an isometric game.
When the goddess called, I answered.
Don't be afraid to take the wrong path.
I wonder if it's also a roguelike.
I was gonna say it's looking kind of Hades-esque.
Kind of roguelike-y.
Looking very Hades-esque.
Oh, yep, there you go. Time to switch my powers up. Oh, hey, multiply by 3, man. You could do all types of builds, man. You know what I'm saying, man?
Ooh.
This definitely looks like Hades.
Oh, yeah.
Great design.
Hades.
Though. Yeah, I was going to say
Hades
the design looks
inspired
really cool.
a lot of games. To fall and rise again. It's the only way to rise.
Memories of the world. Enlighten me.
Yeah, man, we Street Fighter 5. Rise up.
Rise up. a roguelike, Souls-like, Metroidvania.
Oh gosh.
The game didn't look bad. It definitely evokes. It has its own art style, so I want to just say Hades, but a lot of the gameplay mechanics did remind me of Hades.
Yeah,
there it is. It's an action roguelike with a modular spellcrafting system. I do like that part, like the spellcrafting, and, like,
system
you get to
sounds
control
cool.
it. But like, oh man, it's almost like indie games just have their own special thing that they do.
Yep.
And it's like, hey man, we need a Metroidvania, or we need a roguelike, or we need farming or some shit.
The roguelike thing has been going on so long, it feels like isekai. Like they've been on roguelike for a decade. Real talk.
This is coming out next week, right?
Is it next
is
week?
that soon?
Man, yeah, it would have to be, right? It would have to be.
It's August, isn't it?
Yep.
This game looks nice. Looks very nice.
That's one thing I have to say, like, compared to like a few years, I mean, like, what was it 2-3 years ago when they released all those fucking lower budget
and
games?
they were all ass looking.
And they were all, ass looking, exactly. And like, this game is
Star
not
Ocean was
that.
definitely the best
like,
one of those by far.
And that needed to be polished a little more, I think.
Yeah.
I wish it had looked more like this.
Yeah, this looks good.
Damn, this looks good. I don't care what this gets, unless it's like a fucking 5 or a 6. I'm getting this.
I mean, this invokes like that PS2 era when you just had JRPGs just like back to back to back to back. Like,
I mean, we kind of that right now. I'm gonna be honest, we're getting there with the RPGs. If it's a good time to come out right now.
I'm not hurting for RPGs. I can say that.
I mean, this year has been insane for RPGs. Like, you have this Metaphor.
Yep.
Mario and Luigi coming out.
Yep.
Rebirth.
Yeah.
Rebirth. Trails Through Daybreak came out earlier.
Romancing Saga.
Yakuza.
Trails Through Daybreak.
Yakuza. Man.
Grand Blue.
Grand Blue. Yep. Man. You are not hurting. Action or turn based. Persona 3 Reload.
Dragon
Persona
Quest
5
3
Vengeance.
HD.
Dragon Quest. They all over the place, bro.
What was it? Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Oh, the black
game is
going on here.
Stunning. I want this.
This game has an interesting class system too. It's like when you have a certain character take on like the elemental characteristics, their classes might be different from what another character has. It's interesting.
Oh, I like that.
Depending on like they have, it's interesting. You have like you have multiple
29th,
classes you go through.
The day before Star Wars comes out, right?
Yep. I'll probably get Star Wars first, but I mean, still.
What a week for Star Wars
trailer out. Actually,
want to go check that out?
I mean, I'm playing it. Let you know that right now. I'm definitely playing it.
I hope this game is good just so that it can shut the internet up, because I feel like they want this game to fail for no reason.
No, they'll keep talking shit even if it is good. That's how that works now.
Facts. So this is what's gonna happen if it's.
That's how to force it to fail.
If it launches, or it won't fail. I can tell you that, unless it's just dog shit. It's a Star Wars game, so it's gonna
Battlefront
sell like
2 was ass when it came out at first, and it didn't fail. So.
So yeah, it's gonna sell regardless. But what's gonna happen is if it gets like an 80 to an 84, like anything under an 85 that's in the 80 range, they're gonna be like, yup, just like I thought, mediocre. See, that's all Ubisoft knows how to make, is this mediocre microwave garbage. Bearing in mind that an 82 is not in any way a bad score, but they're still gonna call it mediocre nonetheless.
That's kind of how people are being about Black Myth Wukong right now. They're like, yeah, why are you all hyping up this mediocre game? It's like, I mean, the game reviewed well enough. Like, calm down, folks.
An 8 is fine to me. I'm sorry.
The underworld's favorite new scoundrel.
Expectations for games have just kind of gotten out of control. I really don't know why or when it happened. It just happened.
Social media kind of drove us up a wall.
Yeah.
Everything. So my game has to be better than your favorite game. My thing is better than your thing.
Yeah. A lot of that stemmed from like back in the day when like games media sites had a little more power and like reviews were like a big deal to gamers.
True. Yeah.
Yep.
Your lives are over. Your family, friends, gone.
Man, leave me alone, man. Leave my family and friends, man.
Galaxy you can hide.
That's where you got hit bitch slap with a phaser. I said a phaser.
Stunning.
Plasma gun.
Stunner, yeah. Man, I want a fucking Star Trek game. I don't care. Like, they got like 6 different Star Trek TV shows in the last 6 years. Give me a Star Trek game.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you need to tell Paramount to get with the developer and make that happen.
Yeah, cough it up, Paramount. Shit.
Shoot, Paramount has to make that streaming service work first.
That's facts. This looks fantastic. I really want this. I'm hoping that this is what Starfield couldn't give me, because like I was still in on Starfield, but I was kind of upset when I was like, oh, so it's just humans in this world. I guess. And so like this looks way more interesting.
Let's go. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie, the day caught up on me though, because I forgot it was next week.
Like
time is going by so fast, bro. That's crazy.
I think that is our last trailer. Huh. All right, well, what did y'all think? Of everything that we saw.
I mean, most of the stuff I saw, like a lot of the games that were already announced, my mind had pretty much kind of already been made up on most of them.
Yeah.
I think the game that turned me around the most was the Strands game.
Yeah.
What's the name of that?
Eternal
Strands and Marvel Rivals. The Marvel Rivals trailer had me. I was hyped. Hello, Cap in this bitch, man, Cap, man. Like, I was like, that would be the place. Like I was 10 years old. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play that. So I think those games really stood out for me. Of course, just from those snippets, I really enjoyed most of those trailers. I think Concord, unfortunately, I knew it when I played it. I like, this isn't going to do it for me, and I hate that it just doesn't seem like it's even going to get a chance to show what it can do in the long term.
I mean, I hope that Sony tries to support it at least for like a season, maybe not like a full 2 years, but like at least a year. I do hope that's how that plays out.
Yeah.
Because they deserve, like with so much work put into it, they deserve at least that. Terrence, what did any of these do for you?
I mean, if anything, like all the trailers that we watched, I thought that they were all pretty good in their own way. Eternal Strands was a big standout. I'm trying to think in my head of everything that we watched and just what really appealed to me.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah. I'll speak on Gamescom overall. I'll just say that I guess I'll since you have opening night live, I'll speak on that. I think that was a good show. Was there anything that was like super mind blowing there? No, I mean, it was kind of like Summer Game Fest in that regard, where I think the real mind blowing stuff is probably at this point being saved for the Game Awards. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I thought it was a very solid showcase. I thought that the games that were shown there were impressive in their own right. Like, we got a bunch of new announcements. We got Secret Level, excuse me. I keep wanting to call it Secret Life, and that looks incredible. Like that totally blew me away. When that comes out, I'm gonna try and watch that day one.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I liked Gamescom. I didn't have anything against the showcase. I thought that it was very solid. I don't think it was something that was like, oh, this was C or D tier kind of thing. I mean, I think that it was maybe like a B minus kind of thing, I guess. Maybe if I had to give it a score. But yeah, I liked it, and I liked the trailers that we watched today. I think that there's some stuff on the horizon that's very nice, and I'm looking forward to. It seems like 2025 is going to kick off in a great way. I mean, it's crazy. Like 2023 was the year of just bangers. This year has been a year of bangers for the most part, and it seems like 2025 is not really stopping. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a gamer. That's all I have to say.
I agree with you on the B minus thing for sure. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Keith?
I was just watching the trailer, and I was like, oh yeah, like dang, Savage Planet already got a sequel.
Yeah, they wasted no time on these.
They did not.
Which I mean, I guess it's nice to be in that position than like waiting 8, 9, 10 years for a game like Dragon Age. So
yeah, I can't go through this 10-year cycle. I'll be old man.
Hell, I ain't got that many more.
We got such and such. You got such and such before GTA 6.
Oh my god!
I like how that's
like
become
if I
the
got
new
5
meme.
more 10 years in me, I would be like, that's a blessing. So like, I don't want too many more of these 10-year cycles. Like y'all got to chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
I
hey,
agree.
man, just get these games out on a more regular. But even then, I think about it the other way. I'm like, well, like Terrence said, like every year just seems like it's just stuffed with bangers, like just incredible video game after incredible video game after incredible video game. Like I remember when people thought this year was going to be light. And I mean, from if you're a console warrior, I guess this year was light. You know, if you're somebody that touts Sony games or Microsoft games, or Nintendo games above everything else and like nothing else matters to you, I guess this year was light. But if you just like video games, this year was incredible. Yeah. Like I don't know, like we named hella games like that are just in the JRPG RPG section alone, and there's still so many outside of that. Like, did Tekken come out this year?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Fuck,
did.
Man. This year,
Rise of the Ronin.
And then if this game turns out to be good, like you looking at something else. So like,
Stellar
I don't
Blade.
know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're at a good position right now, I think, for video games. And oh yeah, Black Myth Wukong. Like, oh my gosh, like this year's been fucking packed. And I think Gamescom, I do come in at a B-. Like I didn't think it was too crazy, but there was nothing in there where I was just like, oh man, this is. In fact, I think it was a little better about not wasting your time. Like I think Summer Game Fest wastes your time a little bit more.
Yeah, there was a bit more
and
ads kind of sprinkled in there.
Yeah, this was much lighter on ads, and I very much appreciate that. And I'm hoping that we get the same thing from the Game Awards. We'll see. Jeff has a habit of overcorrecting. You know, like with the last 2 years ago, we watched, and it was like Christopher Judge getting up on stage and talking for like what felt like an hour, and then like later on, like the next year, it was like, "Hey, get off the stage. You've been talking too long. It's been 30 seconds. Get the fuck off the stage." Like. I'm curious to see what the overcorrections are for this year and how that plays out. I do know he's certainly hyping it up more because he said something about like, this is going to be the future, the next 10 years of gaming. And I was like, Jeff, chill the fuck out. I don't know what you got planned, but chill out.
People give Jeff way too much shit, man. I feel like he really does try his best. And the thing is, at the end of the day, he's the messenger. Like, he can't control what these developers and these publishers are putting out. It's like, the game industry is going to be the way that it is, regardless of Jeff's position in it or not.
I said that in the chat the other day. I said, look, man, y'all act like Jeff the one that made these games. Like, he's just telling you about them. You just mad. Like, it's your fault.
He's the hype man. That's all he is.
He is the hype man. And if you see 70 video games, and in that 70 games, or 50, I think it was like 49 games here. If you see 50 fucking games, and of those 50, you didn't see anything you liked, that's a you problem. That's not a Jeff problem. That's not a Gamescom or a Summer Game Fest problem. That's a you problem. You just don't like gaming as much as you think you do.
Talk to him.
I don't know, man.
Might have to clip
get
that.
off his chest. I'll make an aside point. I had to bring this up because they had the Borderlands 4 reveal trailer here. Ooh, you could tell they wanted that movie to do better because the movie was supposed to lead in to the reveal because the week before. Now he screwed it all up. I was talking to my little brother. My little brother is the biggest Borderlands fan on earth, and he was like, yeah, they had to put that trailer out there real fast to take the bad taste of that movie out. Because he said that movie set Borderlands back 10 years.
I'm shocked that movie was as bad as it was. But I guess, it's one of those things where that just shows that, even though better video game adaptations have come about, it's still possible to make bad ones.
You're not through the woods yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we all should have known when they had Kevin Hart. Like, I don't know anything about Borderlands, but the thing that everybody kept saying was like, why is Kevin Hart playing a serious character?
Yeah, Roland's like the one dude in the entire universe of Borderlands.
Like, that was like the fan casting for like the
Michael B. Jordan would have been fine. He looks like Roland.
Michael B. Jordan probably took one look at that script and was like, I know you fucking lying.
Which is crazy because Jamie Lee Curtis, you would think,
no
like somebody like her, like she's known for being in things of pretty good quality. So when she was signed on, I was like, okay, I think this might be good. But hey,
man,
everything
can be good.
As you've done more movies, you like sometimes you just like, hey man, I just need to pay for this little extra yacht. I just need to pay for this move, this like change in house plans or some shit like that. Go ahead, how much you paying? Yeah, I'll do that. It's 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm on there. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I do agree with Rakeem that was definitely planned. It wasn't like they put that trailer out to make everybody forget about the movie. No. That shit was timed. They were like, the movie gonna come out, and when that motherfucker hit, we gonna hit him with this Borderlands 4, and everybody gonna be going crazy. Like, no, everybody like, oh God, I hope this don't suck like the movie. That is not what they want.
Boy, that turned out real bad, man. It's unfortunate, man, but I had a feeling watching it. Whenever you watch a trailer, and it's like every time, like, I hope this ain't god awful. I heard this ain't dog water. Like, you should have some type of like, oh, that's kind of clever. Oh, that's unique. Oh, that looks kind of good. That's the kind of feeling you want going into a movie. Not, I don't know about that. You don't want you never want when you're looking at a movie or something new. Don't ever give you good feelings.
When you have to hit one of these, it's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You start scratching the back of your head, like, I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Brad.
It's my reaction to the first Green Lantern trailer. I was like, oh, I hope this turned out well. But it don't look
you
good.
Was right. Your body got a reaction like if you know IP really well, your body has a reaction when somebody does it wrong. It's like immediately like this ain't right. This ain't how this supposed to go.
Right. But all right, I think that's gonna wrap this week up. If you liked it, I need you to do us a couple of favors. I need you to subscribe. I need you to tell your nerdy ass friends about us, and I need you to do me a personal favor and have an excellent week. Peace.
And please play some video games.